From the Sidelines on 1580 KGAL.
Hold it. Before we go any further, I would like you to note the professionalism of this program today, the many aspects that are really outstanding that perhaps you don't stop to think about. The first would be the opening piece of music on the days when the Baja Mashugna Band is up to recording snuff, and we get we even get the whistle in there to start with, and we did it today right there. See that? That's called professional. And this is called From the Sidelines. It's a Friday morning. Welcome. We do this every Friday here at the downtown studios of KGAL Radio, downtown Albany studios, 14th and Waverly, formerly the old library building, now the Silver Falls Dermatology building. And if you're ever in the neighborhood and would like to stop in, that's fine. If you're at 14th and Waverly, you want to stop by because, I remember growing up, I was an avid listener to the radio, and I always wanted to know what was going on behind the scenes. How did they do this magic called radio? And I'm sure that same thing occurs to you, like the playing there of the Baja Mashugna Band. How did this man, this mortal, how did he get that so perfect that the whistle was... There's the police. All right, I hit 55 in a 30 zone on the way in. Excuse me. The door is locked. Break it down if you can. I'm sorry. Some people outside the studio now. But you probably wonder about the mysteries of radio. And it's a fascinating thing. It's complex, I'll tell you that. I don't know if you view it up close whether you would understand it. It is one of the reasons that I make the 7-figure salary that I do, is that I have total command in this. But if you would like to see it, and I think it would also perhaps calm the irritable critique that I hear about my 7-figure salary. People, I hear it over and over again. In the frozen food section, particularly down at Safeway, I like to stand at the frozen food section in Lebanon. I find there is something about the frozen food section, and I have a theory. I think it is the chill of the food that brings out honesty in people, because you're not in the comfort zone. And there is something about it that says maybe these are, final moments or whatever. I'm freezing in here, and there's an honesty that it develops from being in the frozen food section. And that's where I hear the comments, the nasty comments about the 7-figure man down at KGAL. And I know that's me. I mean, nobody else comes close to that at KGAL. But it is things like this, the Baja Mashugna Band starting perfectly. Carlton, please. Just like that. Carlton Damper, our producer. This is a Damper production each and every Friday here at KGAL. I'm sure you would assume and agree with that. But it's that kind of a thing where the Baja Mashugna Band starts, Carlton, like that gets me the 7 figures. And if you would like to see how I do it, and the fact that you probably wouldn't understand it, and you would see how complex and difficult it is, stop in and say hello. That would be fine. Hey, somebody else stopped in and is going to say hello, and I thought he wasn't going to be here today. I thought I was going to have to say, here's Wally Orderman. Hi, Ray, how you doing? I really love you. A lot of times it sounds like we're at odds when we talk sports. But I'll tell you something. Every week when I go home and I think of my opinion, I think how dumb it sounded next to yours. And many times I've wanted to apologize for that. And today I'm going to do it. Thank you, Wally. But there was no need. There really was no need to humble yourself in front of the audience like that. I'm not humbling myself. I'm just saying the truth. What a marvelous person you are, and what wisdom and insights you provide in sports every Friday here at KGAL. Wally, please. People don't want to hear that. They find that a little... If you elevate yourself too much, even if it's not you, but someone else does it, they want to tear you apart. And I welcome it. I welcome the comments, and God knows they're true. And God knows it's about time that you said it. But please don't. I thought I was going to have to do that this morning, and I'm disappointed that I don't, because over there, whoa, look at this. What do you... If somebody comes down here today, you're trying to outdress me?
I heard it was jacket and tie day. Did you miss that memo?
Yes, I did, as you can tell.
Good morning.
I don't look the seven-figure part this morning. If you come by the way, 14th and Waverly, and you're welcome to do that, seriously. I don't look the seven-figure part. I like to dress like you people at home, you poor people in the audience. I like to dress like you do, sloppy and because I don't want to look like I'm above you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you really you decked out.
I apologize for being a little bit late.
Oh,
but,
no.
I knew it was iffy whether I could get here, and found a window, so I bolted. Still have my blazer on.
Yeah.
It's, glad to be here.
It's good to see you. Wally
Nice to
Orderman
see
is
you,
here. This is a sports week known as the White-Haired Guy Weekend. And I was going to mention the Kentucky Derby, but I already know that you're not a fan.
I like the event. I'm not a huge horse racing fan, but there's some things about the Kentucky Derby that interest me.
Yeah, the beauty of the horses when they run. I mean, it's magnificent.
I don't need all the lead up to it. I enjoy
like
watching the race.
See, here we go with the
differences. I don't need the fluff stories and all that. Just show me the race.
See, I like that. This is why I was going to say at the beginning of the program, what you say, Ray, has so much impact that I'm not going to say anything anymore on the program. Why, thank you, Wally, but really.
You truly know me better than that, don't you?
I want you to say something, Wally, even if it were pale in comparison, with my points that I will make, the poignant points. But to go ahead and say it anyway. I like the pageantry.
No, I don't mind the pageantry and all of that, and a couple of lead-in stories to tell us anything intriguing about certain jockeys, or so and so's going for a record or something like that. That's great, but I don't need 3 hours of the coverage, and I don't need a lot of the fluff. Just show me the race.
Well, let's pause here at this moment because we agree on that. I'm not talking about the 3 hours. I like maybe 20, 30 minutes beforehand.
I can handle that.
And the singing of my old Kentucky home with those people, all the wealthy people. And I like it because they're my people.
Well, they're certainly not mine.
I've got to say this here, and I don't say it to rub it in your face, but the audience I'm talking to here, but it's not easy when you make seven figures to meet people that are your people, I still have to hang around with you people, and I do it.
Oh, my.
What?
Isn't number one rule in radio, don't insult your listeners?
I'm not insulting. The number one rule in radio is honesty with your audience. You wouldn't know that, would you?
No, I guess I wouldn't.
Oh. But in watching the Kentucky Derby, I see my people, and I think, I ought to call them after the race. And it's just, that's nice. I have that moment of people with whom I can identify.
What's really interesting to me, and I guess I do differ with you on that particular point. I do not enjoy watching people flaunt their wealth. And the Kentucky Derby is the epitome of people flaunting their wealth. I can't stand it. Show me the race.
As a person who has that wealth, you're not flaunting it. You're just, you live your impoverished style.
Right.
All right? Because that's what you're forced to do.
Well, that's right.
All right? But, I live a higher lifestyle. It's not to be criticized. It's simply that when you make the money, it's just something about it that you have to live the money. That's, that's just the way it is. That's what I see. That's what I see with my people at the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, you're cracking me up calling them your people. That's one of the funniest things I've heard you say in a long, long time.
I like to see the different people that are there every year, the same people that own the horses every year. It's like there were years ago when they decided to start horse racing, they decided to limit the number of owners to about 7. It's the same, and they haven't died yet, although they're getting up there, when you see them at the Derby. But they're the same people every year, including the white-haired guy. Do you know who I mean when I say the white-haired guy?
Is it Bathards or Bethards or Bafford? Bafford.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Bob Bafford.
Bob Bafford, yeah.
There's just something, I don't know what it is, but there's something pleasing about seeing him back at the Derby, and that it goes on, that he survived. The feeling that he's there, it's a dumb thing, but somehow it says to me, life is going on. It hasn't changed. I would feel bad if he had passed away and was no longer there. It would make me realize that I'm getting older. By seeing him there every year, there is this feeling of youth and continuation that somehow I enjoy.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And the white-haired guy is one of those, Bob Baffert, hanging around with his wife with a hat that looks like bigger than the hat that Gabby Hayes used to wear. He sometimes used to wear those wide, rather than the hats like Roy and Hoppy would wear. He'd wear these wide things.
You know we're on radio and your hand gestures mean nothing, right?
Well, it means a lot. People understand that. Why? Because I have an identification with the audience, and they can sense the fact that I'm moving my hands in a wide, broad circle.
But they're not your people.
Not necessarily. Not after hours, In this hour, I come down a couple of, couple of steps.
I see.
to be able,
Just keep talking, Ray.
to be able to talk with the people. 12 o'clock, I don't want to see you people anymore.
Oh. All right. It's a good thing I'm here, because there's a sense of diplomacy here that needs to be balancing.
Does honesty mean anything to you?
Absolutely, but diplomacy does too.
But I say that seriously. There is something that I really cannot identify what it is. It's stupid, but I enjoy seeing the white-haired guy at the Kentucky Derby. It just says that life continues unchanged. Things are still going on. Life is static. It's not going to have a great interruption. I enjoy that. It gives me a sense of satisfaction, and I smile at it because there he is. He's always the same. There's Bob Baffert over there. He owns 15 horses today, and the last many years he can't win anyway.
You see, and I don't think he owns them. Isn't he the trainer? I don't think he's an owner.
I believe that he is. He's the owner.
Okay.
He has trainers of his horses. For example, he does not have a horse in the Kentucky Derby this year.
I didn't know that.
I'm hoping he will be there. He was going to have a horse, I think it was ranked number 21 or something. They have 20 horses tomorrow. I don't know if that's the reason he doesn't have the horse in the race. There was another that was going to be in the race earlier. He withdrew that. So he doesn't actually have a horse.
And that's something.
And
but he's still there.
I hope so. If not, it will destroy this continuity and this sense of peace that I find. I'm going with the hands.
You're a very introspective man, and yes, the hand gestures continue.
The palms are flat, and I'm moving them in a smooth line like this.
Mm-hmm.
It will break that peace and the continuity that I find in the Kentucky Derby. I'm just mentioning that. By the way, the favorite tomorrow is Orb, which means that you should bet for
Orb.
Bet on
Orb.
No, any other horse.
Any other horse. Yeah.
I keep meaning to go to the Google. I noticed my hand went up and pointed to the computer.
Yes, it did.
I want to go to the Google and find out how many years it has been since the analysts have been able to pick the odds-on favorite. It's been a long time. Every year the favorite loses. So Orb, O-R-B, is the favorite. Bet against him.
I would bet for him because the first two letters are the first two letters of my last name. That's the kind of research, and if we're a betting man, which of course I'm not. But
you see the kind of self-enamored thing that we get from him. Big deal. It's the last two letters.
Well, that's as good as, for me to pick a horse, that would be as good as any theory right there.
Yeah. But there is a horse that is the third favorite. Verrazano is the second pick. And Golden, I believe it's called Golden Sense. Golden, C-E-N-T-S, Golden Sense is the third favorite, at least as of today. And one of the owners, a small part, very small percentage, this horse is owned by a lot of people. I guess they each get a day with it or something. They get like 15 minutes in the corral, if you buy in.
Uh-huh.
Rick Pitino is a part owner, like 5%. That's still, I bet, a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Even 5% of that horse.
Yep.
Because they're $1 million horses. He owns 5% of Golden Sense. And I would like to see Golden Sense, therefore, win tomorrow. That's my favorite. Yours is Orb.
I'm taking Orb.
Because it has the first two letters of my last name.
Gee whiz.
Why not?
Why don't you reach over and give yourself a hug? Good grief. Well, I like this time of year. I like the first race, and I look forward to the next. There's also the timing of it, Wally. If it were in February, I probably wouldn't care. But when the Kentucky Derby is on, usually by that Saturday, even the first Saturday in May, weather has improved. If not, we're within a couple of days.
It is a very good indicator of the nicer weather and the spring season and all that. I'm completely with you.
And because of when it is held, it just kind of falls into all this stuff that I enjoy this time of year. And I love the beauty of the horses. it's a shame now that they are apparently becoming more and more fragile because of whatever the reason is in the training of the horse and the fact that they're not as strong as they used to be, because we've had horses go down on the track in the last few years. But and I'm not sure that I like the fact that they put them under the whip at the end. Is that good or bad? I don't know. That's not a question, perhaps, for this program. But I love the beauty of them when they're out galloping around that track. And I like the one that usually comes from the back, Beetle Bomb. Do you remember that record?
No.
Oh, I should have found that. There is an old record called Beetle Bomb. Beetle Bomb is a horse, and you hear this guy doing the play-by-play or whatever they call it for the horse race. And in last place, 16 lengths behind, Beetle Bomb. And then here he comes up, he's coming up. That's usually the way it happens is don't bet until the race begins, and then bet on a horse that's near the back.
Pretty sure they don't let you do that.
Well, tough for them,
It's like filling out your NCAA brackets after the first 2 days of competition.
The thing is, I don't have to worry about that because these are my people there. We're the people that can do what we darn well please.
Oh, yes.
You're not going to tell me.
Entitlement.
You're the guy at the window, the betting window. You're going to tell me I can't place a bet now? Hey, pal. How many figures you make?
Slightly less than 7.
So there is the tip for the day. Wait for the race to start. Look for a horse that is near the back, but in a good position, not really boxed in by a bunch of horses, but somewhere maybe along the outside. Bet on it at that point. All right. We'll take a break and we'll come back. I am glad that you're here today.
I'm glad to be here.
The audience is so pleased that you're here today. Otherwise, it would have been a conversation.
We don't have a lot of the cast of characters. We've had a fairly full house the last couple of weeks.
No, everybody decided today that they weren't going to come.
It's nice out.
When I'm pleased, and Wally was very busy this morning. It is nice of you to make your way over here. And we will take a break, and we'll come back and talk some sports items that I had on my sports mind this morning, and maybe one that is on Mr. Ordeman's mind as well. Maybe one or a part of one anyway. When we come back from the sidelines at 1580 KGAL, that's locally owned and operated.
I've heard that.
And we are proud to be local.
Business is still done better in person, so make the most of your trip at Shiloh Inn Suites Hotels, where you get 4-star accommodations at 2-star prices. Hello, I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. You'll always get more for your money at Shiloh Inn Suites Hotels, because with Shiloh's affordable excellence, you get more free amenities than most any other hotel chain, like free high-speed internet access in every room and a free newspaper. You'll also receive a free continental or full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. And with Shiloh's Star Rewards program, the more you stay, the more you save. So stretch out in Shiloh's beautiful deluxe smoke-free suites, unwind in Shiloh's spacious pools, spas, steam, and sauna rooms, as well as Shiloh's fully equipped fitness centers, and enjoy 4-star accommodations and service at only 2-star prices. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohins.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence, American-owned and proud of it.
If you've never been to a Tree of Life Christian Outlet warehouse sale, you've missed the biggest sale in Oregon for Christian merchandise. That's right, the biggest sale in Oregon. Tree of Life Christian Outlet's warehouse sale only happens twice a year. There will be thousands of books 50% off, hundreds of Bibles 40% off, hundreds of gift items 50% off, and hundreds of witness apparel 50% off. This Thursday through Saturday, just in time for Mother's Day, is your chance to stock up on Mom's favorite Christian books, Bibles, music, apparel, homeschooling, and gift items, all at wholesale prices. That's right, wholesale. Just think, you'll have your Mother's Day shopping done early and save enough to shop for you too. And Saturday is Kids Day, so grab a camera and come and meet the Berenstain Bears. The first 100 kids get a free book. Bring your friends and buy at wholesale prices on thousands of books and Bibles. That's this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at our warehouse on Isabel Street in West Eugene. For directions, call toll-free 888-33-BIBLE.
Stand by for a free offer.
I want to tell you about the Fountain of Youth by Pure Attitude. It's a non-toxic, all-natural, power-packed anti-aging, waterless formula serum with 100% active ingredients. It creates dramatic results, firmer skin, and less visible wrinkles. It's like Botox in a bottle. The Fountain of Youth was developed by award-winning chemist and health and beauty expert to the stars, David Pollack. When recently featured on the Today Show, all they could say was, "I love it." This incredible product increases skin oxygenation, boosts collagen, increases hydration and cell renewal, and results in a tighter, firmer appearance to your face with less visible wrinkles. And now, we want to let you try it for free. Go to freefountainofyouth.com and you'll receive a free 14-day trial of the Fountain of Youth. Just pay a small shipping and handling fee. It makes a great gift because it's beautifully packaged, and you'll love the new you after using dermatologist approved and recommended the Fountain of Youth. Go to freefountainofyouth.com.
You can call us lefty or you can call us righty. We just call it Smarty Talk on 1580 KGAL.
I just let that music play because I think it is part of the magic of these hands. If I hold the hands up again, those of you that feel this commonality with me, and you're allowed to do that for an hour even though you don't make the money I do, you know that I'm holding the hands up, showing my hands that make the thing run. Go over here to this machine, go over here, turn on Wally's microphone occasionally in time before he speaks, things of that sort. It's all part of the technical control of the program, which I have. And one of the reasons you might want to stop in and see it. Over there, you would recognize him because he's wearing the suit. Isn't it odd? He looks like the rich one. Wally Ordeman.
Good morning again.
Here today. The spring game for the Beavers last week. Now, I know you went. You took
did go.
Your grandson, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Wife, stepdaughter, grandson, made a night of it. Did I enjoy it? Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I did. I mean, it was a lot different than I had anticipated it would be. And I've been to the spring game before. Been a few years since I've done that. But, it was a nice night. The weather was great. And fanfare was fun for Jack. He's 6, and he had a good time with that. Some things that I would hope they would do differently in subsequent years.
Which would be?
Well, one, don't play rap music throughout loudly.
Oh, really?
It was unbelievable.
Well, throughout, you mean
throughout
during the game?
Yes.
When the game is
yes.
when the plays are rolling?
Yes.
Why would they do that?
Loud rap music. I have no idea. And then when after a first down, the band does the band was there. When the Beavers score get a first down, and the band does the chop thing and all of that. They would fade down the rap music. The band would do their thing, and then they'd fade it right back up again, and it was loud, and it was annoying.
Did they do the chop at the spring game?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did we adopt that?
They tried, but it was a fairly unenthusiastic crowd.
You know that I don't like that.
Yeah, I do know.
When did they adopt
like that?
How do you think it came about?
I don't know. The pace of the music kind of lends itself to something like that. But I don't know. But that's not my point.
Okay.
The crowd, I would call it sparse. They announced it at 8,000 people. I think it was probably close to 4. But from where I was sitting, we went up to, because we took the escalator up to that, is it the club level or whatever it is, and had a bite to eat up there, and then just went out into those seats, and that was cool.
Because you could?
Right.
Was this a special Ordeman privilege?
No, they weren't. There were no tickets. It was all free. You could go wherever you wanted.
You could go to the club level?
Yes.
I wish I'd have known that.
Yeah.
I've never been able to get up there. The one day when they had the opening view of it, it was some Saturday, years past. I don't know how many years it's been now. But I was doing some broadcast somewhere that day, and I happened to stop at the Dairy Mart on, Western? In Corvallis, West, the Dairy Mart at the end of Western. And I stopped in and I mentioned the football game and something about, we got to talking. I was talking with the clerk and mentioned that they had an open house for the new club section. And I said I would have liked that because it was going to be free today. And then somebody came in and said, oh, they're still doing it. They're going a little long. It was past 2 o'clock or whenever it was supposed to end. And they said they still have it open. So I rushed down to the stadium to see it. And they stopped me at the stairway.
But I may be identifying the levels incorrectly too. This is the level that has the big wide open expanse, And I don't think it's the exclusive level that's above that. It's the highest level that the escalator goes. But there is a level above that, and that's not where we were.
All right. They didn't let me up anything.
Well,
they threw me out. They said it's over.
But it was, I mean, the game itself was fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, let me rephrase that. It was fascinating to me how much of a non-game it was. It wasn't two sides against each other. You know, it wasn't two teams separated equally and you had a quarterback on each side. It was one side was exclusively offense, the other was exclusively defense. And it was a glorified practice, is what it was. They'd drive down. Well, first of all, they started out going 7-on-7 with no line and a coach out there doing the snap.
7-man football.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, like the high schools do during the summer with 7-on-7, all passing, and a coach out there handing the ball to the quarterback as opposed to a center. No lines.
It's been several years since I saw a spring game, but I would think that possibly that's the first time that they've done that.
And hopefully the last.
Oh, yeah.
But then after about 20 minutes of that, they brought the lines in and they played actual, line of scrimmage football. But it was really strange because they would run a series of plays and maybe get down and score a touchdown. To give you an example, they get down to the 1-yard line. Mannion's the quarterback. He gets chased out of the pocket, throws one up wildly that gets picked off. Okay, guy starts to return it, gets tackled at the 1. Okay, so you'd think, okay, they're going to go back and kick off again. What they did was they backed it up 30 yards and kicked a field goal. And then coming out of that, they worked on special teams. They did a punt, and then they did a kickoff, and then you were back to the line of scrimmage running plays. There was no continuity, not continuity to it whatsoever, and very difficult to track what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
You didn't know when it was going to end. The clock didn't run, and no score was kept.
Nothing?
No.
Offense, defense, they didn't have points
because
for
you
each side,
only had one
did.
team being offense the whole time.
Yeah.
The white team, the black team. The black team was always on defense.
They could do points, for example. You could have 1 point for a touchdown or 1 point for something or other.
You could have scored it in a number of different ways. But, it was like, okay, we need to work on this, or we're going to show the fans this. Probably more like that. We're going to show the fans this. We're going to show them a kickoff. We're going to show them a punt. We're going to show them a 35-yard field goal. And then we're going to run 10 plays. Or we're going to run plays until we get it in the end zone. It was really an odd. It was tough to get any traction whatsoever as to what you're watching.
You were not spring game enamored by this.
I was not, and knowing that they had on the Pac-12 network, they had blocked out 2 hours to show the Beaver spring game, and I couldn't help but wonder, what are the announcers talking about?
That's true.
What are they having to say right now? Wait a minute, interception in the end zone. Brought back out to the 1-yard line where he's tackled. Now they're going to kick a field goal.
From the 30.
So, I guess in talking to others that watched the broadcast on Pac-12 Network, they were, the commentators were doing some interviews and were giving some background on some of the players, but there was really no game to call.
Was there any evidence?
No clock, no scoreboard.
Was there any evidence that they were surprised by this, the announcers?
I don't know the answer to that. And after a while, we watched for about an hour. But not knowing when it was going to end, it became a nice night out in the sun and watching some football being played.
Yeah.
But it became very, very difficult to maintain your interest when a lot of the same things were happening over and over with no sense of scoring or anything like that. And the rap music continued to play. It was something. The other thing I'll say is knowing what Oregon was going to do the next day with 37,000 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, Oregon had announced, we have to limit the number of tickets because of construction. We have to limit the number of tickets to 37,000 people. And when you compare Major League versus Little League, those two events could not have been more different.
And as an Oregon State fan, that troubles you.
It did. It was a fun night. Yeah, I had a great time with my grandson and my wife and stepdaughter. We had a great time there. It was a lot of fun to be around that atmosphere, but how they did the game was hokey, and I was very disappointed in that.
That is troubling, because we know the difference between the two programs, but to think that it's really evident in a spring game is that's particularly upsetting.
Yeah.
But it even starts with the way that they do the spring game, the difference between the two programs. Well,
yeah. And I am guessing that they got a ton of feedback about the music. I'm guessing they got a ton of feedback about the lack of continuity to the game itself. I'm a letter writer. I mean, if I see something that I think could use improvement, I tend to voice that opinion a lot of times, with an email or something like that.
An email.
I chose not to do that this time because I knew they were going to get a flood of feedback, we'll call it, on what we witnessed. It really that part of it was disappointing.
What I would say about the music, and I don't like the really loud rap music throughout the game. I find that in the baseball parks, but I can understand they do that for the teams when they're warming up and they're younger people.
Sure, when they're warming up.
Yeah.
Or during a timeout.
But I would think that's a very bad choice on their part, because the people that are coming, you're there, for example, because you're old enough and in a position now where if you wanted to, you could buy season tickets or support the team.
Mm-hmm.
The same with me. I have my season tickets because I'm old enough now. I'm 35 in October. So I'm the kind of person, I really am the prototype of the people to whom they need to appeal.
Yes.
And that music does not appeal to me.
It was a complete, I know where you're headed with this. It was a complete marketing blunder.
Yes. You see, I could have said that in 2 words. It took me 5 minutes. Marketing blunder. That's what I'm looking for.
It really was. There was nothing that we saw that night that would encourage me to buy season tickets.
Hang on just a second. Carlton Damper, our producers, Damper Production each and every week here at KGAL. I want to say something. I want to cut that whole lengthy thing where I was trying to come to some kind of conclusion about the mistake they were making. I want that cut out and roll the tape here when I give. Now, I would say this about playing that kind of music. It's a marketing blunder. It is obviously a marketing blunder. Got it? Insert that to the thing that we put on what's the TV thing called? The computer when we have the program. You're right. I think it is a big blunder, because that's not the music that we want to hear, nor the people mainly that are their supporters through the season tickets.
Well, and how they operated the game and itself, and not just the music, but just how they operated the game. It was less than inspiring for anybody that's on the fence about maybe buying tickets. And you have to remember, that's not the product you're going to see in the fall. That's not. I mean, Oregon State football games are a fun event to go to, and last year they played great football, and I think things are going to be very good this year. But anybody that used that event, the spring game, as something to try and convince themselves one way or the other as to whether they would buy season tickets down the road, would not have convinced them to do that.
Those are condemning words, and I know that they probably listen to this program very carefully over at Oregon State to hear what we have to say.
And let's remember, I'm a Beaver letterman. I mean, I'm loyal. I love the Beavers.
I've written some letters to the Beavers.
Sure.
So what do you have?
Different type of letterman. But so my loyalty it does not wane, but I can certainly be disappointed when I don't feel I'm getting a fair product.
Yeah. The last time, and it's been a long time, that I went to a spring game, Ryan and I went years ago. Dennis Erickson was the coach, and Chad Johnson had been recruited by the Beavers. We knew nothing about him, except he was already talking that he could run away from anybody. He could beat anybody on the field. And he dropped a couple of easy passes that day in the spring game. And we kind of laughed about it. That's right, here comes another Beaver mistake. This guy is going to be like all the rest. Well, I guess he had every right to speak out even before the first spring practice.
Let me end on a positive on this. The third string quarterback, is it Vanderveer?
I tell you the truth, I have forgotten the name.
Vanderveer, I think is the last name.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Oh, yeah?
He was solid.
He's bigger than the others? Taller?
He might have been a little bit taller than the others. I really, we were pretty high up, so it was kind of tough to get perspective on that. But he looked good.
I did want to ask you about that. The one thing that the Beavers were really looking at, and I suppose then there can't be any answer because of the style that they used, Mannion or Vaz, was there a difference? Like last year when Mariota of the Ducks really shone in the spring game, it was evident he might be the quarterback, and soon it was announced that he was.
Yeah.
Anything of that sort?
Well, the only thing I'll say on that, I don't know that you could really say that there was a distinction between those two. And Vanderveer, I think you have to put into that mix too. He looked really good to me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, he could step in. He looked good. Mannion, the one thing I did see that was very frustrating, you could hear it from the groan of the, we'll say 5,000 people that were there. When he did get chased out of the pocket, line of scrimmage was at the 1, gets chased out of the pocket, running left, throws right, a floater that any one of 3 defenders could have caught, and no offensive player was near.
You mentioned an interception.
Yeah,
was that the only one?
That was the interception, yes. It was. I think it was the only one, and the only one I saw. And that was disappointing.
Well, we'll wait for the fall. And the man who is on the sidelines commandeering all of this, Mike Riley, great faith in him and what he does. And we shall see in the fall. The problem I see this time is that because of last year, there are expectations. Last season was such a terrific outcome because there were no expectations. The expectations were very low. So each week we had joy in a victory. The Ducks have put themselves in a position where you can't even lose once and people get upset. Thank goodness we're not in that position, but we were, 9-3. And so there are so many people that returned from last year, some keys that are gone. But at 9-3, it seems to me that a lot of people are filled with at least hope, and I think high hope for this year.
Yeah, and I still have those high hopes as well.
I think that sets us up for, and watch now, you'll be able to tell what I'm doing with my thumbs. I think that's the perfect setup. As a sports fan, I see it coming. I won't allow myself anymore to say. Last week, Mary Jo said to me something about, Boston. The Red Sox are doing well this year, aren't they? And I didn't want to say yes. Because I just see it coming, that if I say yes, and I said, they're doing okay. And the next day, when they had a chance to set a record for victories in April by the club, 19 victories in April, they lost, and they lost rather one-sidedly, simply because I had sort of said something positive about the team. So I try just to lay back now and expect the least amount, and then you're happy if things turn out better. We better take a break here, and we shall. From the sidelines at 1580 KGAL, I know you're not going away because this compelling program continues in a moment.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. And by Sage, software and services for America's most efficient and fastest-growing businesses. Visit sagetoday.com. This is Charles Osgood. Our CBS News colleague, Michelle Miller, had an interesting assignment the other day to check out Mac Bishop's new kind of shirt.
Feel right here, this shirt. Don't be shy, gentlemen.
He calls it the better button down.
This shirt hasn't been washed or dry cleaned in about 150 wears.
24-year-old marketing grad Mac Bishop claims to have created a shirt that not only looks good, but is soft to the touch, resistant to wrinkling, and odor-free. To prove it, he wore this shirt for 100 days in a row without washing it.
But wait, there's more after this. Why turn to a trusted choice agency for your insurance needs? Because a trusted choice insurance agency is an independent advocate that works for your interest, not for any one company. That allows them to find the coverage, the company, and the price to fit your needs. They pledge to treat you as a person, not a policy. When you're looking for a trusted friend in the industry for home, auto, life, or business insurance, turn to Trusted Choice. Visit trustedchoice.com today. Working efficiently may be the biggest challenge of any business manager. Sage customers get a better return on their time with anytime, anywhere access to critical business information online and on premises. Sage offers extraordinary software and services designed to keep your accounting, payments, and operations integrated and running with maximum efficiency. Grow your business with confidence. Grow your business with Sage. Learn how Sage is helping businesses like yours run more efficiently at sagetoday.com. Where were we? Oh, yes. Michelle Miller was telling us about Mac Bishop's no-wrinkle self-cleaning shirt.
I've ran 3 to 4 miles in this shirt. I've biked 5 miles in this shirt. I've thrown it on after a basketball game. It airs out. It's the miracle fiber.
That miracle fiber is wool. The kind Bishop uses is over 3 times thinner than a human hair. He claims this is why his shirts are extra resistant to moisture, making them the perfect garment for people on the go.
This thing will not wrinkle. So it's the spring in the fiber that helps the wrinkle resistance.
You mentioned that young Bishop is a marketing grad. How is he going about this?
Bishop turned to the online fundraiser Kickstarter. In just over a week, over 1,700 supporters have helped Bishop raise over $250,000, nearly 10 times his original goal. You want to be able to say you invented the shirt that can literally last a lifetime.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
And what's in it for his supporters?
A self-cleaning shirt to call their own.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
When you look out across the Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. Willamette Community Bank is here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other, in fact. Hi, this is Sue Kalina, Relationship Manager. Willamette Community Bank provides an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that?
Willamette Community Bank, service like no other. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Would you like to eat your way to sexy? Author Elizabeth Somer has shared nutrition tips with First Lady Michelle Obama and Dr. Oz. On May 11th, she will share breakfast tips with you at the Eat, Play, Live Food and Fitness Affair at the Salem Conference Center. Bobby Dean will also be there to transform one of his mama's favorite meals into a lighter, leaner lunch. Don't miss the opportunity to shop, work out, buy vegetable starts, sip wine, and have fun with friends. Buy your tickets today at salemhealth.org.
Don't miss the free annual Lebanon Garden Club plant sale. Today from 9 to 5 at Ralston Park Station, Park and Oak Streets. A country store selling flowers, veggie starts, shrubs, bulbs, trees, dahlias, and more. A raffle drawing, free coffee, and Myra's cookies on site. For more information, visit LebanonGardenClub.org. Don't miss this free annual Lebanon Garden Club plant sale. Today from 9 to 5 at Ralston Park Station.
From PCs to the internet, Kim Commando has the answers. Saturday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Hi, welcome back from the sidelines. It's a Friday morning thing here at KGAL Radio. 1580 AM on the dial, of course. The only place on the dial. The only one that should be locked in here. Also screaming on the internet, which I haven't found that. Some people think that's a real breakthrough, this screaming on the internet. We have to sit here for another hour this morning. We have the transcript of everything we've said that will be written out. We have to repeat it all, but speak louder. And that's how you get the screaming on the internet thing. And that's a real imposition to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't like that. But that's also available at KGAL.com. And transcripts, not transcripts, but rebroadcasts of this program. I can't imagine that anybody in their right mind would do that, except for Ordeman over here. To listen to him is KGAL.com.
No, anybody that wasn't able to sit and listen during the 11 to 12 hour?
Yeah.
Go back and listen to it online. It's a great feature.
Oh, they'll jump at that. See,
they do.
People go into their computer right now and smashing it just in case some family member is going to go there.
Just like after football and basketball games for Warriors and Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Well, that's you and Ryan. Last week we were talking about an annual exercise, which is to choose the first manager of baseball that will be fired for the year. And I said, I think it's an outside, but I sense this. I have this, and I have, of course, this sense. I have a oneness with the universe. Eric Wedge, I said. I also have what I call the PK. It's the Pitts kibosh. If I say something, chances are it's going to blow up in my face within 5 seconds. If I make a sports prediction, it's not going to work out. It's known nationally as the PK. Last week, I said, Eric Wedge, I have a feeling he will be fired because the Mariners are scrambling. They made changes in the off-season that were supposed to make it conducive to rise this year. And they moved in the fences. A mistake again because they moved in the fences for the whole inning. They should have just moved it in for the bottom half of the inning. But I mentioned Eric Wedge. And I think that day, Friday, I believe, was the day that they beat the Angels. They beat the Angels 3 of 4 last weekend. They hadn't won a series this year to that point. The Angels are supposed to be a good club. They're scrambling badly. They have Josh Hamilton. They have Mark Trumbo, who homered in 3 games this week. They have Mike Trout, Rookie of the Year last year. They have Albert Pujols. That's quite a lineup. Mm-hmm. They have some pitching, and they're like 10-18 or something at this point. But they beat the Angels, and the Mariners hadn't been beating anybody, so those were good wins, 3 of 4. And then the Orioles. The Orioles have like 3 of the top 7 or 8 hitters in the American League right now. They are trailing a team I don't want to mention because I'll put the PK on them, but they're a tough team. They're one to be dealt with, and the Mariners just beat them 2 out of 3. Anybody that is a Mariner fan, I would like maybe some cash from you because I'm responsible for their resurgence because I said Eric Wedge would be fired.
You have quite an influence, whether you intend to or not.
I don't know why that is. I don't enjoy it. My theory is that heaven, you'd like to make it. I don't see the shot, but I'd like to get there too. It has to be somewhat, boring is a nasty word, but all the everything's going well. It's got to get a little tiresome. So there's got to be a little mix-up up there. I think.
I'm just saying, you've taken a shot at the audience. You've taken a shot at heaven.
It's not a shot at heaven. It's an assessment.
An assessment. Fair enough.
And I think that what it is I am a sitcom. That's why I exist. I am entertainment for heaven. They look down and they laugh. They just laugh at what's going on. And there is a plot. It's called Everyone Laughs at Raymond. And I'm like the Ray Romano, the living Ray Romano. And, come on, Deborah. Come on. The Red Sox. Why? Eric Wedge is going to be fired next week. And then they're winning 5 of 6. Well, that's the plot line. I mean, they look in the paper for the day in heaven. Here's the entertainment. Everybody laughs at Raymond. Today, Ray makes a statement about Eric Wedge. And that's what it is. Yep. So I don't feel that I can win. I feel it's stacked. It's stacked. I'm reaching up here.
But yet you still put yourself in that position. We made predictions, and if you know this and what's likely to happen, you're the one that posed the question.
But I can't do it in certain aspects, like, the plot line would be, watch, Ray today, figuring out what's going on, says, thinking that it will be the reverse will happen, says the Red Sox are going to lose every game from now on, thinking that that's the way I'll make them win. Mm-hmm. They won't. The plot line will be, it'll make people laugh. Ray finally makes an accurate prediction.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a feel. That's what it's like to be me. You know what I'm saying?
You're a very complex man.
That's why I enjoy looking at the Kentucky Derby and seeing my people. Even though they don't know me, I know that these are people that I would have a lot in common with.
And your people have no idea how quirky you are.
No, they don't know. They don't know. We need to take one more break. We'll come back and speak some sports matters here. Do you have any particular sports thing on your mind besides the things we've talked about?
Nothing that really... maybe. I might.
There's dead air, thank you, for 3 minutes when we come back. Have something.
All right.
When we return from the sidelines on KGAL.
This is Rich Abers, Service Manager at Power Buick GMC, and I'm here to tell you that not only is Power Buick GMC the #1 local dealership to purchase a new or used vehicle, we are your General Motors service headquarters. Our GM-trained and ASE-certified technicians service Buick, Cadillac, Chevrolet, GMC, Hummer, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and Saturn vehicles, in or out of warranty. Extended warranties, no problem. Cars not GM built, no problem.
Call Power today at 541-757-1415 on the corner of 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis.
At AdvanceAutoParts.com, you can find the part you need and get it delivered straight to your home from the comfort of home. Plus, when you order $75 or more from AdvanceAutoParts.com, your shipping is free. Imagine ordering from the comfort of your pajamas, a smoking jacket, or go commando, whatever. Spend $75 and the shipping's free. And so are you, man. AdvanceAutoParts.com. Service is our best part. Advance Auto Parts. See site for details.
This is Charles Osgood. I live in New York City, where you walk everywhere all year long. But when you're outside that much, you need more than just sunscreen or regular sunglasses. You need polarized prescription sunglasses with Xperio UV lenses. They eliminate 100% of the sun's blinding reflective glare, and they offer maximum UV protection so you can see clearly and your eyes are protected. Ask your eye care professional about Xperio UV Superior Polarized Sun Lenses. It's the best vision under the sun.
Mom. A name of someone who was always there to help you with life's skin knees and little bumps. If you're looking for a special event to show Mom you're thinking about her and just how much you care, check out Albany Helping Hands Thrift Store's Mother's Day event, May 6th through the 11th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Gifts, baskets, flowers, plants, hanging baskets, and during the week there will be games, a raffle, barbecue lunch each day, even karaoke music, and so much more. So show Mom you're thinking about her and take her to a good time. And this year, take her to a different event, something you've never done before. Albany Helping Hands Mother's Day event, May 6th through the 11th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Albany Helping Hands Thrift Store is located at 705 1st Avenue East, just under the railroad underpass. Come on down and let's celebrate Mother's Day.
Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market has bargain prices now on 8-pound bags of navel oranges, just $3.99. You save $2. Save up to $1 on pineapples, just $1.99. And save up to $2 on Mike's Lemonade 12-pack party kit, just $14.99. Hurry, specials good while supplies last. Albany Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Across from the Heritage Mall with bargains on the brands you trust.
Need a home? Then listen to Real Estate Talk with Dave Pouch, Saturday mornings on Smart Talk 1580.
The whole thing with Mom, that's nice. It's nicely said, but I have a feeling that Mom, who I believe is up there as I point upward, looks down at the daily programming of Ray Makes a Fool of Himself again and says,
I told him not to get into broadcasting. He didn't belong there.
When I was 50, I was 50 a few years before I was 35 recently, for the last 10 years. I went home in the summertime because I had not been home alone in a long time, and my mother was getting up there in years. And when you go home with the family, we would be a little in Cleveland, a little in Buffalo. And I decided to go home for a week on my own and spend time with my mom. And the first night that I was there, and it was the first time in years that we had sat down alone and talked, within seconds, she said to me, I'm 50 years old, she says to me,
Raymond, you could still take the civil service exam.
There's still time. In other words, she never saw this as an actual job.
Even though her son was a star.
Oh, yeah, right. She came out and listened, and she probably wondered,
what is he doing? And those poor people, does he really think anyone is listening?
So you had something on your sports mind. Did you want to talk about it?
No, I think Jason Collins and him coming out, the NBA player coming out, but that's a topic for maybe a little bit more lengthy discussion. I have some thoughts on it, but maybe we tackle that next week.
Right. Yeah, I would be interested in those. I would say that I would look forward to the day when it's not a story, when it doesn't deserve being mentioned, doesn't have to be mentioned.
Talk about how I was going to give this great explanation and putting things into very few words. That's exactly what I would say. It's a non-story.
Carlton Damper, our producer. It's a Damper production each and every day of the year. Print that one.
You're finishing strong because that's the point I would make.
Baseball today, West Albany and Lebanon. They really are not battling for a lot. West Albany's battling for a first division position. Today, 4:30 against Lebanon from West here on KGAL. And next week, we'll carry two games between Crescent Valley and Corvallis, and they are vying for first place Tuesday and Friday of next week. Thank you, Wally. I know that you were busy this morning.
No, it was great to see you. We'll see you next week.
By.
You bet.
Thank you. Thank you all for stopping by today. You want to do it again next Friday, don't you? And I will look forward to tomorrow. My people, as Charlie Weaver used to say, those are my people out there in Louisville tomorrow. Go Golden Sense. That's the one I'm rooting for. Have a fine week.
Locally owned and operated, this is the very independent News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.